Hi everyone, Melanie here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm hearing a lot from people who are coming out of abusive relationships, the question of, did my ex have a personality disorder? And is that the reason why he or she behaved the way they did? I have clients of mine asking me, was my ex borderline? Was my ex narcissistic? Maybe my ex was histrionic? Maybe just a plain old psychopath? Maybe none of the above? And it's creating a lot of distress and anxiety. So I wanted to make this video with my own perspective of whether it's important to be able to correctly label your ex or maybe your partner if you're still with them at the moment. The importance, whether it's important to label them correctly. First of all, I want to say that although I'm a qualified counsellor, I am not a psychiatrist. And as far as I'm aware, it's within the realm of psychiatry to be able to correctly diagnose someone. So I can't do this, especially if it's not even my own observations of your ex. I can't help you confirm whether someone you know, whether it's your ex, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend. I can't help you diagnose whether they have a personality disorder and which one. I'm not a licensed psychiatrist, and guess what? Neither are you. I mean, unless you are a psychiatrist. But for those of us who aren't psychiatrists, you're not equipped to be able to accurately diagnose someone, and it's not your responsibility to do so either. And what's even more confusing is that doctors get it wrong sometimes, especially when it comes to borderline personality disorder. It's often misdiagnosed by professionals. In the UK, this is known as emotional unstable personality disorder or emotional dysregulation disorder. And that can just get confusing for people because who here hasn't been emotionally stable at times? Who here can put up their hand and said that they felt emotionally dysregulated? Yes, I think most of us can put up our hand and say that from time to time, maybe we exhibit certain personality disorder traits. However, a personality disorder to be diagnosed as such, for cluster B personality disorder, the traits need to be persistent over time and they need to be inflexible, meaning that the individual will exhibit these traits no matter what the time, place or circumstance. Now, bear in mind that a lot of doctors will make a diagnosis and assessment of a particular patient or individual often based on one session. In the UK, you are assigned a psychiatrist or a doctor if you're looking to get a diagnosis for medication, and they might have never met you before. And within less than an hour, they've decided you are this. And as I just said, for borderline personality disorder, for NPD, histrionic, for antisocial personality disorder, these traits need to be persistent over time. And a doctor who's just met you once isn't going to accurately see all of this. So yes, often people are mislabeled and misdiagnosed. So even professional makes mistakes. So with all that said, I would say that a better question that you could be asking yourself is not necessarily, did my ex have a personality disorder? And if so, which one was it? But more like, for what does this serve me? What is this desire to want to label and diagnose my ex? How is it serving me? What is the deeper purpose for me actually wanting to know this? One big reason why we feel the need to figure out our ex's mental health is to help us get a sense of closure. Often if you've dated someone who was highly narcissistic, someone with BPD, you end up getting ghosted, you end up getting dropped, and you don't really know what happened. You don't know why it happened. So to be able to type in, did my ex have a personality disorder, to see a list of symptoms and to think, oh, that happened to me. It helps to normalize your experience for one thing. It also helps to give you a sense of closure in that this is actually quite typical of people with a personality disorder to be behaving like that. And you will rarely, if ever, get closure when dating someone with a personality disorder. You're not going to get the answers that you want. I talk about this in previous videos. It's really hard to get the sense of closure that you're looking for after dating someone who's dysfunctional. So often the desire to go online, to research it, to try to figure it out, it's soothing our own need to want to make sense of the situation. And it can actually be pretty helpful because going online and having your aha moments, the light bulb goes on when you realize maybe your ex did have a personality disorder, it can not only help you give you a sense of closure in understanding that this behavior happened because of this way, it can also help you realize that you're not alone. A lot of people seem to think that they're going crazy dating someone with a personality disorder, especially if you didn't know anything about personality disorders before getting into this relationship. And then you realize this relationship is just not like the others. There's something that is just not quite right with this person. They just seem a bit too traumatized compared to other people that you've met. And the thing about with borderline breakups in particular is that they're so convinced of their convictions of you. They really believe when they think you're the devil, and they really believe it when they think you're a saint. It can get very confusing for anyone who's just unaware of the mechanisms that go inside, that run inside a borderline's head. And as such, often we're left feeling very deflated, very confused, very anxious, questioning our own mental health and our sanity and our perception of what's real or not. So yeah, actually it is helpful to go online and to research about different personality disorders, to look at all the symptoms and think, oh my God, that was actually me. It gives us a sense of some sort of closure to know that my experience wasn't mine alone, that other people have experienced this as well. And that's often something that my clients tell me, that they feel like they're going crazy from all this gaslighting and from their convictions of how bad they were. And to know that you're not alone, that this is actually quite common in relationships with people like this, can actually start to be part of the process of where we can let go. We can make peace with ourselves of what happened. However, there has to be a point where you drop the search for labeling, when we just drop this. If you want to successfully move on from someone, we need to just let go of them. And that involves stop thinking about them and researching about their particular disorder. Because A, you could be wrong. Of course you could be wrong. Like I said, doctors get it wrong and they're qualified professionals. So you yourself could also have been wrong. There's a danger of becoming too attached to a label and then becoming way too hypervigilant that everyone around you is now borderline or is now a dangerous narcissist. There is this narcissisophobia that's just widespread now, absolutely widespread. And you know it's a problem when the mythology of narcissism is being spread when it appears on South Park. There is so much misinformation about personality disorders, especially when it comes to narcissism. If you look back at one of my videos, there's an audio of me having an interview with Sam Vaknin, and he quite rightly states that there is a mass of misinformation. There is mythology being spread about narcissism, and as such, it can actually do more harm than good. And the problem with getting too attached with a label that you've assigned to your ex is that one can become way too obsessive in thinking about this, which not only is it going to drive you crazy after a while, but it can make you hypervigilant into seeing cues that aren't there when out and about and meeting new people. One needs to let go of attachments to labels after a while. Labels serve a purpose to direct us to information, to make sense of things, to make sense of something. But after a while, we need to drop it, because guess what? We are more than any label. One name, one label does not accurately describe everyone as a whole. There is a lot of misinformation out there. You could be wrong. So I come back to my initial question of, for what is this serving you? This need to want to label them. Let it get you to a point where you can have some sort of closure, where you can make peace with yourself. Let it serve you in the purpose of making sense, of normalizing your experience, maybe of reaching out to others and hearing about their experiences. And at some point, you're going to have to accept it, accept what happened, make peace with yourself, and just drop it and move on. So, long answer to the question, yes and no. There are benefits to labeling, trying to label people anyway, in service of making sense of our own experience. And then there's also a danger of getting too attached to it, driving yourself crazy in the pursuit of trying to analyze and diagnose them. Like I said earlier, it's not your responsibility to do this. And if you did, you could be wrong. Right, so I'm going to leave it here for now. Thank you for watching. As always, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. And if you feel like you need help in this area, know that I am a counsellor and I specifically work in helping people recover from abusive relationships. So don't be shy, do reach out. My contact details are below. And if you go onto my website, you can sign up and find out what I've said about BPD and NPD and how to spot covert narcissists. I have a private SoundCloud account, so when you sign up, you get access to all my links, all my audios that I've put up. All right, I'm going to end it there. Have a lovely evening. Bye for now.